I don't live in a home, so yeah, the lightning conditions ain't the best of the best. But it's better than nothing, I assume. Let me put it at a different angle. A little bit better. Now my eyes aren't that dark. But yeah, let's get into this. Abortion. Abortion is abortion is abortion. Now, the lady that I tend to listen to on YouTube, Monty Matter, M-O-N-T-E, new word, M-A-D-E-R. But yes, she said she went and did some research, and it's a bunch of lies that abortions happen in the late stages of pregnancy. It's a bunch of lies, fear-mongering from the people that wants to run the world. I'm not saying abortion is right, but I'm not saying abortion is wrong. In the Bible, in the Old Testament, and you shall bring the cheating woman to the priest, and they shall pray or whatever, or do incense so that she can have miscarriage after miscarriage after miscarriage. I assume until she changes in life, becomes a better person, stops cheating, then she won't miscarry. Meaning this was done by God, from God. God ordained. Now, you say, yeah, but that's called miscarriage. Shall we do a Google search and see when was the word abortion used for the very first time in human history? Meaning, we call it miscarriage because it's spiritual / medical conditions. And we got a new word, abortion, because it's medical / scientific / technology based. So yeah, that's the only difference. The one is spiritual, the other one is physical. The one is spiritually into medical, and the other one is scientifically into medical. Different wording, but same narrative. A woman shall lose a baby of time and time and time and again until she repents, until she becomes a different person, until she decides to not cheat anymore. According to the Old Testament in the Bible. Now you look at life 6,000 years ago versus life currently. Epstein victims, 14-year-old girls being raped, and you expect a 12-year-old or 14-year-old child whose body ain't developed, that cannot carry the baby to full-term pregnancy, that cannot give birth to a child, you expect them to not have an abortion? These things happen. 60 to 70% of foster children in the USA are being abused by the foster parents. So do you want to support the narrative of let's adopt children? Let people adopt children. It's so much better because then they grow up in a house and they don't grow up in a foster building in a what shall we call it, institution, government institution. They grow up in a family home where they're being abused. 60 to 70% are being abused. Sexually, physically, mentally. And you want to tell me which abortions should not happen? Then let's rip out the piece in the Bible where God ordained abortion. Then we can say, okay, no more abortion, no more miscarriages, no more nothing. But while that is in the Bible, then sorry to say, tears on abortion. Now let's see. Old Testament abortion, miscarriage. Let's say if you don't bring the cheating woman to the priest, and they don't cause miscarriage for the rest of her life or for a time period in her life or whatever, then she has a child outside of wedlock, and if she meets the man of her dreams that she doesn't want to cheat on ever again, and she wants to date that man, then sorry, I got 4 children, and that man says, oh no, too much trouble. So that was mercy from God. Basically, mercy and grace on women. So that now you become a reborn Christian. And now you live 5 years as a changed person, repentant person, as a child of God, not cheating anymore, not sleeping around anymore. Having miscarriage after miscarriage, meaning God ordained abortion. God ordained abortion. And you meet the man of your dreams. You got no children. There's no evidence that you ever cheated. Your sins has been forgiven. I'm single. You can date me. I'm a single woman. You can date me. Total forgiveness. Oh God, I found a godly wife. She's single, she doesn't have children, meaning she didn't sleep around. All evidence vanished, disappeared. All sinfulness was as white as snow. All sinfulness gotten rid of. God forgave her totally. oh God, I can't believe I'm 45 years of age and yeah, I meet a 43-year-old woman or a 45-year-old woman and she doesn't have children. She's perfect. Thank you very much, God. Versus no God-ordained miscarriage, no abortion done by medical doctors, and the woman has got a string of children. Oh God, I thought she was perfect, but look at her. She's got 7 children. She's got 5 children. I'll keep on praying for a perfect wife, God. For a wife that's been forgiven by God. Because humanity doesn't want to get rid of sin. Humanity doesn't want God to cause miscarriage after miscarriage. So that a single lady can still seem decent, still seem holy, still seem godly, seems totally forgiven. Epstein victims, 12-year-old girl. You can go and seek it up in the Epstein files. These things happen. They forced her to carry the baby, Epstein, and his circle of sycophants. And the girl couldn't bear it. I mean, 12, 13, 14 years of age. Second time came along that she became pregnant of being sexually abused by the Epstein buddies and the Epstein circle of friends. And she, by accident, the baby came out in the toilet, the fetus, not the baby. Not full-term pregnancy. And she flushed it down the drain. These things happen in life, my dear friends. These things happen in life. Third time, oh shit, okay, now I'm pregnant again. I don't want to flush it down the toilet again. I don't want to carry the child again. Oh yeah, they took a baby once the baby was born, the first one. Grabbed it from her and gave it to someone totally strange, like to a total stranger. She's the mother. How broken must he be on the inside of, I had a baby and I couldn't keep the baby. Now that baby is going to be abused just like myself. So here comes the third pregnancy and she goes for abortion. Preventing a child to be born, to be abused by abusers, by wicked and evil men. And you want to tell me abortion is not godly? Abortion is not good? I mean, if it prevents a child from being abused in the future, isn't that good? Isn't that godly? You want to tell me that she should, every time that child at the age of 14, then at the age of 15, then at the age of 16, have to go through full pregnancy and let a baby be ripped away by strangers, by abusers, given to strange people? that will abuse that baby once that baby reaches the age of 12, 13 or 14. Because this has happened over 3 decades. The Epstein files are not one-day scenario. This happened over decades of our people tortured and abused. Children. Human beings that's busy growing. Human beings whose bodies ain't fully developed. And you want to tell me abortion cannot be a godly option? Abortion is not a godly outcome? There's a woman currently in Georgia, USA. She's dead. But the hospital keeps her on life support to keep her body functioning, so that the baby inside of her can still be born. Hospital did some scans, are doing some scans on the fetus, and the fetus has got water on the brain and everything, meaning that child will be disabled, blind as a bat, not have a proper life, meaning that baby should actually die with the mother. And yeah, the hospital is doing it. And guess what? Once the baby is born, they'll give it to the family and tell the family, pay the hospital bill of $2 million, $3 million. Forcing a family, depending on how big the woman's family is. Family of 5, family of 10. To fit the hospital bill. Because the government, the law says no abortions are allowed. Isn't it more humane to send that baby with its mother together into heaven, into eternity? Or is it more humane to let a fetus become a blind, disabled person in life that gets rejected and kicked around in life because people don't have much time for disabled people? How vastly expands is your institutions in your country for disabled people, blind people? I did deliveries in my 20s and 30s, and I came across these institutions, and they're in a very bad state. Blind people ain't being looked after very well. Disabled people ain't being looked after very well. Just be happy to what we give you. So I'm not asking to consider whether abortion should be allowed or not. I'm saying, is it more humane, is it more godly for abortions to happen than problems and issues later on in life? If I meet I'm 52 years of age. If I meet a 50-year-old woman and she's got 3 children, 4 children with her, And I ask her, oh, so you've been married in life? No, never. I'm a single mother. Ah, so you like to sleep around. Then I've been put off from that woman. Oh, Raymond, how can you be so ugly? How can you be so nasty to women? If I say I've been with mistresses, then a woman would look to me and say, oh, you sleep around. Oh, let me keep away from you. Oh, you got 5 children. Oh, you sleep around, never been married. As I'm being treated, so are women being treated. If I get rejected, other people get rejected as well in life. That's part of life. That's what we have to contend with. Just as the Bible has been translated and retranslated and retranslated and retranslated to give us the narrative of the disciples with Jesus were all men. Yet the original translations says the one's name was Demonica, a woman's name. And then the churches decided to retranslate it to make it sound like a man's name, Demeus. I think it was an apostle 2,000 years ago. I'm not sure whether it was one of the 12 disciples. Because you see, when Jesus Christ reappeared after he died to people, he said, you will be an apostle, you will be a disciple, you will be an apostle, you will be a disciple. He gave different gifts. In his heavenly body, he appeared to people and said, you will be an apostle, you will be a disciple, yada, 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 yada. And one of the apostles was a woman. So, the Bible that we got in the Bible has been added and removed from many a times over to suit the narratives so that society can go a certain direction according to secret societies. So yeah, I raise my case. Abortion should be allowed so that women can feel forgiven. There's no proof of children. I'm a single woman. You can ask me out on a date. Even if I did play around in life, just like men played around in life, I am forgiven by God. I'm forgiven by Jesus Christ. I've been washed as white as snow.